Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Say Hey Show podcast. I am Danny Serrano, one third of the Say Hey Show. Trevor, how the fuck are we doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. We got a Friday Junior going on today. Into the series, we are heading to Chicago next. Quick little bus ride over there. It's one of the cooler back-to-back series the Giants get to do because they just get to hour and a half little mob up over to Chicago. So easy travel day for them, easy travel day for me. I'm down in the beautiful Point Loma right now. Um, yeah. Brewers series went about as well as I could have expected, I would say. I think we saw some bats liven up. I think we saw our Webby get back to it, and yeah, we're kind of gonna touch on everything Brewers, everything Giants, and what's coming up next with the Cubs. So hand it off to Danny here. Take it away.
Yeah, in terms of the road trip here, we are currently 3-7 right now. You would have thought that the Rocky series would have went a little bit better, but I think we kind of made up for that crappy series with splitting the series with the Brewers, and you know we should have asked for some series predictions in the last episode. So that's our fault. But going forward, we'll kind of go into more prediction stuff with the upcoming series and stuff. Um, I would have thought that splitting the series with the Milwaukee Brewers, who are top of the NL Central division right now, would have been best case scenario. But fortunately enough, we attained that. So that was good. We'll recap the series and how that went, and then we'll kind of go into prediction stuff and also just moving forward, just future thinking with what we want to do with the roster and how it's currently constructed and maybe what we want to see going forward. Um, so yeah, we split the series with the Milwaukee Brewers. We lose the first two. The first game was just kind of ridiculous. It was essentially what we did to the Rockies in the last game that we ended up winning against them in Colorado. They blow us out, and in the second game, we lose that game as well. But we kind of showed some fight, and the offense really woke up in the last two games in Milwaukee. It's funny what this team can do because they can be the worst team you've ever seen, like we saw in game one. And then in today's game, or even kind of yesterday's game a little bit too, we can be like an absolute juggernaut. And I think that's one of the more frustrating things that you can see out of this team right now is that you can look like the worst team in the league and you could also look like the best team in the league, but there's no consistency there. So, Trevor, what'd you see over the course of this series, this 4 game set against Milwaukee, that you liked and you disliked?
One of the things I disliked was Roop got tagged up that first game. Um, him getting tagged up for 8 runs, 8 hits. I mean, it was the walks that really killed him. I think what do you have? You have 5 walks. I mean, that killed us all series. And I mean, Milwaukee's the team that's going to do it to you, and then they're going to hurt you for walking them too. But I think you got to go in with a better game plan there. I mean, that team doesn't have a bunch of power hitters. I think you kind of got to play into their strategy, give them some strikes, let them hit, and let them put the ball in play. Going around, beating around the bush around these batters isn't really worth it. I think their main pops like Churio, Yelich, and Vaughn. Gary Sanchez gets at bats here and there, but other than that, it's a lot of bat and ball, not a lot of power. So, Yeah, I don't know if that's kind of a game plan thing or what, but I was been kind of high on Roop, so a little disappointed to see him do that. But positives, our stopper Webb, actually, he showed why we have faith in him, and I think we got a little down on him last cast, and he shut us right back up, which is just what we expect him to do. So, yeah, Webb really shoved yesterday. 7 innings, 1 hit. He just really like that lineup was causing problems for us basically every inning, and he really stopped them, stopped the losing skid, and we go and take two more right after that, or one more after that. So, yeah, I mean, negatives and positives, pitching, I guess. I mean, bats seems like we're firing up now. Got a couple guys heating up. Eldridge is looking really good, and Jung Hoo's on an 11-game streak. So, I mean, if we can just keep riding this momentum, I mean, going to Chicago, take a couple. Chicago's playing real bad baseball right now, so let's get in there and let's keep them playing bad baseball. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think, in the first game, the first inning, Roop goes, he strikes out two in the first, and you kind of get this feeling of, Roop in the beginning of of the season, like when he first faced the Dodgers, shoved it up their ass. And so, coming out of that first inning from the Roop start in game one, you kind of have that same feeling. Chappie hits a 2-run bomb, right center, and you're like, oh, okay, so now he's got run support. So this might be the one win in the series, at least from my point of view. Um, but then they kind of just brewer us to death, where they draw the walk, they hit the single, and they play small ball, and that's just kind of their identity as a baseball team. Um, we'll kind of hit more on the identity of the Giants baseball team later on. But the Brewers have a very defined identity as a baseball team. Take your walks if they're given to you, and just don't try to hit the ball out of the yard. And that has, I mean, they're first place in their division for a reason. They get the small things done. They're a great defensive team, and they're just a very scrappy baseball team, just like how we were when we were winning all those World Series. It was, Buster would hit you 30 home runs in a season or 25, whatever it was, but it was never like he was carrying the team. It was like a collective, like scrappy slap ball kind of hitting offense. And the Milwaukee Brewers they've completely taken that identity over. And over the course of the first two games of the series, that couldn't be more apparent. And going into game two, old friend Kyle Harrison, old friend first round draft pick Kyle Harrison, just completely shoved it up our ass. And honestly, like, for getting a offensive presence like Raffy Devers, and with how Harrison kind of pitched for us, I don't even knock the Giants for including him in that trade. Like, I feel like he was like one of those guys that was just a clear, like, change of scenery kind of guy. Maybe he figures it out in Boston, but hey, different coast, different league. He might figure it out, whatever. And then he ends up getting flipped to Milwaukee, which is a lot more of a knock on Boston, to where you were a season away from getting the best version of him. And he's had one of the best ERAs all year. And as of like right now, he's a Cy Young candidate. But then we end up salvaging the last two games. Yesterday wasn't an incredible offensive performance, but it only took one homer for us to win the game. And then today, our offense just showed that side that It just showed us what they can be and what we want them to be, what we thought they were going to be. And, like Trev said, we got the Cubs coming up. They have not been the team. Well, they've shown glimpses of the team that they should be, but with injuries and stuff like that to their pitching, we should be able to target that and kind of knock the ball around the yard over there at Wrigley Field. And they haven't shown their starters yet for the series. So that leads me to believe there should be a bullpen game or two, potentially, kind of what the Brewers did. So we'll see about that. But honestly, like I was saying earlier, the Giants, they showed us the best case of their team. The offense showed up today. The starting pitching, I think we're going to get into in a little bit here. Hauser started today's game and hasn't been the guy that we signed him to be, but, he also just has a 1-year deal. So as long as we get him right before the trade deadline with how our team's kind of trending right now, we'll get a solid return in return, whether he is traded for as a bullpen piece or a starting pitcher piece. We'll see about that. But just some quick stats with Adrian Hauser this year and just how frustrating it's been with him. This year so far, he's got a 5.49 ERA in 12 games started. And altogether, that's a 60 2/3 innings pitched. His batting average against him is 293. And his OPS is 850. And just going down the innings, his ERA per inning. So in the first inning, he has an 8.25 ERA. In the second inning, he has a 3 flat ERA. In the third inning, he's got a 1.50 ERA. But as we get more towards down the later innings, which is what you want a starting pitching to kind of hunker down and kind of figure out the hitters that he's pitching against, it gets kind of worse. So the fourth inning, he's got a 4.63 ERA. In the fifth inning, he's got an 11.88 ERA. In the sixth inning, he's got a 1.93. And in the seventh inning, he has a 0.00 ERA. You want to know why? Because he's never even fucking made it to the goddamn seventh inning. So that's why he has a great ERA in the seventh inning. Not saying every starting pitcher should make it to the seventh, but you got to have a couple spots where you're dealing enough where you can at least enter the seventh inning. He hasn't even done that. So why I even mentioned Hauser maybe trading him as a reliever is because, well, the first inning sucks, 8.25 ERA. But as you get to the second and third inning, he's got a 3 ERA, he's got a 1.5 ERA. So if he's like a bulk kind of middle guy, your starter isn't doing what he thought, you slide him in the third inning or whatever. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. But we just got to figure out a way to where we can make this guy right, to where if there's a desperate enough team, one of those AL teams, because the American League has been so bad, you can convince a team to take on him. Not his contract is very team friendly, but if you could take on a guy on a team to send Hauser over to get some bulk innings out of, if you got the Cleveland Guardians or some team like that where they don't like to spend a lot of money, they don't want to take money on, but they can maybe find something in his wind up or whatever he's doing, move him over to the first base side of the rubber, yank his glove side in, something like that, plant your foot down sooner, who knows. All these teams are very analytically driven, so they might see something with Hauser where they're one tweak away from making him a 2 ERA kind of guy. He's one of the guys on the chopping block, but in terms of the chopping block, Trev, Logan Webb. We brought him up last episode. Jake was saying, we haven't even brought up yet, is unable to record tonight. So it's just me and Trev. Is Logan Webb on your chopping block, Trev, or is he an untouchable? How do you feel about potentially dealing Logan Webb in this year's trade deadline?
I think in terms of trading Logan Webb, we got to talk about like what we're really looking at, and we did last week with, are we doing a full rebuild or not? Because in the last 20 years of the Giants, we've never been in a full rebuild. And so if we're really committing to that, hell yeah, get hella value for them. Like, grab everything you can. Go to the Nats and say, I want James Wood. You know, like, it's like, while he's hot, grab him and like, let's go full rebuild, build on Eldridge, build on Jung Hoo, and like get Devers out. But like, I don't really think the fan base or I don't think the fan base or the front office is really willing to do that. I think you can see that by the Vitello move. You know, they want him to come up and kind of fire everybody up. Maybe that hasn't happened yet, but no, I would say Webb isn't untouchable unless we do go full rebuild. And in that case, you see Adames gone, you see Devers gone, you see Chapman gone, and we bring up everybody. Gavin Kylan, I want to see him up. Jonah Cox plays every day now. Bryce Eldridge plays every day.
Weisenhunt.
Yeah, and I mean, and I don't think we're there yet. You know, I think we're a couple pieces off of a good team. And I think that's how the organization feels too. And so what those pieces are, it's pretty hard to tell. I can tell you it's not Luis Arias. I can tell you that. We can get rid of him. He's not untouchable. I can tell you that.
Absolutely not.
Trade deadline, rebuild or not. Let's get
First one done,
yeah.
sure.
While he's batting 320 and yeah. Get rid of him. No, I do think Webb's untouchable. Danny and I were kind of talking before the show about how much you guys value homegrown or not. And to me, you know, I said it's not a big deal, but it does mean a little bit more as a Giants fan, considering that we can't sign any free agents. So like when we get someone and we got them and they're ours and, you know, we've had them and they're willing to ride with us and they're willing to say, fuck the Dodgers, you know, it does kind of mean more. That being said, I'm sure a couple of prospects would make me forget about that really quick. So, you know, Logan Webb, untouchable until Chapman, Devers, and Adames are all gone, is I guess the way I want to leave that. And Devers last. Arias first. Just so we can, like, create a pecking order.
Wait, so your pecking order is what?
I would say, like, chopping block. We go top to bottom, top on the chopping block. Yeah. Gets chopped first would be Arias.
Right.
Right after him, Chappie. Right after him.
Pitching, though? Does pitching fall in between him and Chappie?
Yeah, you got to get rid of Robbie Ray eventually, but like, what's his value at? What's anybody's value at? Robbie Ray, I love a Robbie Ray day. Probably put him right in between Chapman and Adames. I think Adames can be a good shortstop, and so I wouldn't like to see him. But yeah, Devers last, Adames second to last, Ray in the middle. I mean, that's about it. It's all veterans, right, that we could take value for. Maybe get Ramos gone. He might still be like build worthy, but like he might have some value too. That guy's some pop.
I definitely agree with what you just said. So I mean, like in terms of like who needs to be gone, like I said the last episode, it's all the guys who are on a 1-year contract or have 1 year left of their contract. So that's Arise, Robbie Ray, Hauser. I know Miley has, or Tyler fucking however the fuck you say his last name, Malley. Tyler Malley. He's got an option for next year as well. So how I see it, that's a 1-year deal. He's got to go. Bader's got to go. And then if you can get a team, and obviously with teams that are expecting to make the playoffs, they're going to go for any pitching that you have, whether that's the bullpen, whether that's the starting pitching rotation, that maybe they can move to the bullpen, or maybe they can have in the back end of the rotation. Like, I see a team like the Philadelphia Phillies that are a Logan Webb away from making a deep, deep playoff push, like they've been pining to do since 2022 when they made, or they are a Luis Arraez and a Logan Webb away from making the World Series and maybe even winning the World Series. Teams like that, maybe the freaking Pittsburgh Pirates are in a Luis Arraez way. I don't know. But there are teams out there. The NL is incredibly, as Trevor steals my company pen, the NL is so competitive. They are some teams, not all teams, but some teams are in a Luis Arraez away from making a deeper playoff run than they think. The AL couldn't be more wide open with how crappy all these teams are playing, where they could be a Luis Arraez and a Robbie Ray away from making a deep playoff run. So all these things are happenstance, but I think that the Giants have they have a window that is more interesting than a lot of the other teams in the league, where if you're the Rockies, you have about 2 players that you can send away and you get some prospect value. Okay, whatever. But the Giants have enough to where they can send off Robbie Ray, Arraez, Bader, Hauser. They can get a real big haul for all those players and still next year potentially be in the race for not the division, but a wild card spot. If you get a real big haul of prospects, but also maybe borderline like fringe players of like they could be on a major league roster by next year, and the Giants actually put some more money in, not necessarily into the team, but into like long-term deals. We're not signing 1-year deals like we did with Hauser and Bader and Arraez. If we sign these guys to long-term deals and we actually did something with the free agents that are coming up, or we traded for some long-term deals to where we have guys hunkered down here for a long time, and we shut the fuck up with these 1-year deals, because it's ridiculous, because we took flyers on Hauser and Bader and all the 1-year guys that we signed this offseason. Those are flyers. We're hoping that the team clicks all at the same time, rather than like developing prospects like Eldridge, who is fitting into this lineup and has been the best hitter in the last 11 games. He's got an 11-game hit streak. He has not been striking out at all to what we've been told he should have been or was going to. And so if we can build around the guys that we have now, it's a soft sell. We sell the 1-year guys, and we actually put money into some guys in the free agent market, and we trade for some long-term deals. There's a way where we can do it where we're not rebuilding And I know that hasn't worked in the last couple of years, but there's still a way where if you sign the right guys, I don't know, I'm not Buster Posey. I don't have a number in my head. Ownership is telling me you got to be under this threshold. We're not hitting this the second tax threshold. We're not gonna be spending money like the Yankees or the Dodgers. Okay, I totally get that. I don't have those restraints. I would be signing a lot of different guys, a lot of them kind of controversial. I would throw a flyer out on Jazz Chisholm. I don't like the fucking guy personality wise, but the guy hits 20, 25 homers a year. We could use that. There's some options out there where we don't need to completely rebuild. We can keep Webb. We can keep some foundational guys. And as to Trevor's point earlier, I kind of have some stock into a guy that Logan Webb is the only guy from the 2021 team that we still have left on this roster as of right now, June 4th, 2026. I think maybe Eric Miller, but like he didn't do anything like Logan Webb did against the Dodgers. He went 7 innings strong of, I think, 1-run ball. I don't even know if he gave up a run, but that still holds value to me. There's something there where he's the only playoff proven guy on the whole roster other than Rafael Devers. He's had a couple really good years in for the Red Sox. But as we kind of wrap this conversation up, we'll let Trevor go again.
But with that logic, you're saying you can't get rid of Chris Bryant either, because in 2021 he was the only player to perform in the playoffs against the Dodgers that series. So it's like, yes, I agree, Webb is almost untouchable, but it's been done before. I guess Bryant's a little different. We got him on like the trade deadline 1-year deal type shit, but like, you know, got to bring it back a little. Shout out to our sponsor, the Scripps Spelling Bee, as Danny hit our word of the day with happenstance. Yes, our Scripps word of the day, happenstance. Happenstance is a noun meaning coincidence, fluke, serendipity, luck, or accident. We are not only a Giants podcast, but we are trying to bring you education daily. So stay tuned for more words of the day.
Okay. I love that plug. Oh, shit. That was awesome. Okay. Some little points that I'd love to hit on throughout this series, and then we'll kind of go into more of the prediction side for the Chicago series coming up, and then I actually wanted to hit on some of the bullpen, the big three coming out of the bullpen.
I got it. One sec. What do you think about Chicago? Because we get Chicago at Chicago, and we go home, Nats 3 games, and we get Chicago again. Right. So it's basically we get to see their same staff minus 1 or 2 guys, right? There's some overlap there, maybe 1 guy, 2 guys we see. Yep. I think it's a good test. You know, they're slumping, but they could use us as a pole vaulting point, you know, and like we've been a bunch of teams have kind of done that lately. So I kind of think both like us, Nats, like this series, next series, and then the Cubs again, like big kind of middle of this, like if we flop here, sell the bag, let's get out. If we look good, we can compete, because the Nats are a good team. They score a lot of runs. If our pitching can't compete there, throw the bag. You know, like our pitching looks like shit. If any lineup's going to make us look like shit, it's the Nats. Yeah, what do you think? Sorry to interrupt there.
Well, okay. So I think it's easy whenever a team is slumping. I think it's very easy to just kind of like assume like, oh, well, these next 2 series are going to be the biggest like show to what team they are. As of right now, June 4th, 2026, This series coming into Wrigley, coming against the Cubs at Wrigley, and then the next three against the Nationals, and then against the Cubs, just like Trevor highlighted. 9 games. These next 9 games, coming off playing the best, the first place team in the National Central, I think are actually the biggest games of the whole season. Because if the Giants take 2 of 3 from the Cubs this coming series in Chicago, then 2 of 3 at least 2 of 3 against the Cubs, 2 of 3 against the Nats, 2 of 3 against the Cubs next weekend. I don't know, man. I think that kind of just changes the complete direction of the season, because we were just talking about selling. Winning 6 of the next 9, and depending on how other teams in the National League do, like the Diamondbacks and the Padres and these other teams that are on the fringe of a National League wild-card spot, we're 13 games under 500 right now. That is a pretty big dent into what we're kind of doing here. So the Cubs pitching is really shitty right now. I do see a universe where the Cubs tee off on whatever pitching we throw out there, and we're the get right team, and they recorrect their season because they have had not a great couple weeks. They just are coming off a 10-game losing streak like about a week ago. They lost the series against the Cardinals, and their offense is kind of heated up tonight and whatnot. But if we were to completely lock them down and we take the series off them, okay, all right, I'm all right. I mean, you split a series against the Brewers and then you win a good series against the Cubs. Okay. Can you repeat the same thing against the Nationals? Okay. Let's say you do repeat the same thing against the Nationals, who are a very offensive heavy team, and their pitching is basically the same as the Cubs. It's not good at all. So you tee off against those two teams. Then you see the Cubs again. Do they make adjustments? Do you make adjustments? Which team does it benefit? We take the series again against the Cubs? Okay, you have my head tilted a little bit here. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe we don't sell as heavy. I would still be leaning towards the sell side, but maybe we don't. Maybe it's more of a soft sell like we kind of did last year. But these next 9 games are going to be it's really going to define where we're going here from moving forward. I don't have high hopes. I think we're running into the Cubs at the correct time where they are just going to tee off on any pitching we throw out there. McDonald, Robbie Ray. I think they're going to get the best of us. I want the Giants to win, obviously, but I do think we're running into the Cubs at their correct time. They're going to tee off on us. Because that's just how the season's gone. We've had a good series in LA, then we go to Arizona and we get our asses swept. This whole season has just not even made sense. So the only thing that makes sense is that we get swept by the Cubs in Chicago. Am I being pessimist, Trevor, or am I being a realist? What do you think about this?
Well, what do you consider a win out of these 9 games if we're going to consider that a measuring point?
A win is
Like
a
5-4.
5-4.
5-4. I like 5-4. I'll go 6-3, and I'll be willing to say maybe we keep Luis Arias next year. Maybe we don't sell. But I think regardless, we're going to do a soft sell this year. I mean, unless we go on like a 20-win a 20 win streak and we get above 500 before the All-Star break, I think if we're around 500 at the All-Star break, soft sell no matter what. So, barring a miracle, we're kind of looking at a soft sell. So I'm saying goodbye, Robbie Ray. Goodbye, Luis Arias. Thank God. And maybe one of those contracts that somebody finds appealing because they're dumb, like Chapman or Adames. I don't think anybody's really going to be willing to throw anything for those contracts, but I think we're looking at a soft sell. Tomorrow's game's at 11:20.
Really?
That's sick.
Not for them, but for us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they left today. What time was the game over? 3. Bus ride over.
Still another day game though.
Yeah.
Not great.
And the next day, wow, we got 11:20. I mean, because it's a 1:20 start for them, I think. So that makes sense. And then we got 5:30. And then we come home. Giants are in a fucking precarious spot. What do you think about Jung-Hoo Lee? Do you think he's coming into his own, or do you think he's just on a hot streak? Like, I mean, if he levels out and he's 75% of Jung-Hoo Lee right now, we're talking like 295 with like doubles and like not bad defense, which I think is what we got him for. So if he can level out and go 75 and not go back down to where he was last year, I'm really happy. And then we got Devers Eldridge actually coming into his own. I mean, he looks scary now. I think pitchers are going to start pitching around him a little bit. His bat looks hot. You can't jam him inside, and you can't go outside because he'll poke right field or left field. It's, I don't know. Bats look better. They look better. Haas actually providing some power behind home plate is something, a sight to be seen. And I don't know. I'm happy with how the bats look today, but that's kind of coming off a high one. So we'll see. I really do want to see how we do in Chicago. I think that part kind of plays into our play style better than most. So I think if we can just, play double ball there, keep it down, don't fuck with the wind, we'll be good. I'm excited to see it.
Going into that Eldridge conversation, he's been by far, him and Jung-Hoo Lee have been the highlights of the last couple weeks, I guess week or so. Jung-Hoo Lee extending a little bit more, but Eldridge on this trip away from Oracle Park has been a delight. And so I think for me, there are a few at bats to where if I have the game on, I'm watching the whole game, but I'm really, really watching every frame of Eldridge and a Jung-Hoo Lee at bat. Those are the most must-see players on our team right now in terms of hitting. And Eldridge right now is not striking out at the rate that we were led to believe. He struck out a lot in the minors, and that was a big concern. He's kind of like Devers in a way where he's going to give you pop, but boy, does that guy strike out. That has not been the case since he's been called up. And even the whole lefty-lefty conversation as well that I was seeing on social media, that has not been the case either. Left on left so far in this season, Eldridge is hitting 364, and he's one dotting it in the OPS category. And against righties, he's hitting 271, and he still has a .811 OPS against right-handed pitching. He's actually hitting better against lefties than he is righties. So he's not striking out against lefties right now. He's only struck out 6 times, and against righties, he's struck out 13 times. So He's kind of a reverse splits guy as of right now. I mean, we do have only a finite um, amount of at bats with him, but he, since getting called up, he started off really cold, and there were even talks of sending him back down. Since then, he's been absolutely crushing it. And Jung Hoo Lee is a guy where I think, yeah, he is playing to the back of his baseball card. And I think where he is defensively now is where we wished he could be defensively in center field, but at least he's finding it in right field because it could be worse. He could have just not been the defensive glove that we hoped, but he's been that guy in right field. And he's fucking crushing the ball right now. Him and Eldridge are the best offensive players in the last 11 games in the whole lineup.
And a lot of baseball, too.
A lot of baseball. And thank God Chapman has been barreling the ball these last couple days. Since those last two games in Colorado and then these 4 games in Milwaukee, he's been crushing the ball. He's been putting bat to ball, striking out less, which we love to see. But in terms of a contract that you were talking about, maybe another team taking on, not to cross fandoms too much, but I did see a report through a Red Sox beat writer that the Red Sox are currently looking for a right-handed bat so desperately that they are even willing to potentially take on a bad contract. So out of the right-handed bats that we have in our lineup, Trevor, who are you sending to the Red Sox? And let's also take into consideration that not other organizations are not dumb. So just because they see that, let's say, just for example, Matt Chapman has been crushing the ball in the last 7 games or 6 games or so, they're not just going to look at those numbers and say, he's back, let's take him on. The Giants are going to have to eat some money. They might even have to eat money and a little bit of prospect capital as well, just to get the contract and that to open that position up. That being said, who are you willing to kind of part ways with? What makes the most sense for you right now?
I think the most obvious choice is Chapman, right? I mean, like, third base is begging for Casey Schmidt to play there. I mean, his bats have been the best bat on the team for the past month and a half. And I mean, they're putting him basically everywhere else but third because Chapman's got it held down because we're paying him so damn much. So I think that's an easy one. It literally opens up the position for a player that's looking for it. And once Ramos comes back, there's going to be a real logjam up in left field, right field. I mean, Jung Hoo Lee's going to have to move to center then, which I don't think anybody's really comfortable with. So, and then Drew Gilbert really doesn't have a spot anymore. So, that getting rid of Chappie right there kind of solves a lot of problems, which is kind of surprising because I didn't really think of him as a problem before, but he is kind of holding up the progression of the lineup. I think a lot of guys could become everyday players because once Ramos comes back, it's gonna be a problem. You got 2 right-hand bats in left field that can both hit. I mean, both smash lefties too. So someone's gonna be sitting, and is it Chapman? Probably not. So it's gonna be Schmidt or Ramos, which I don't want to see. So yeah, I think easy first answer right off the bat, Chapman right there. Wouldn't really mind seeing him gone. I think. Yeah,
I would have to agree with Chapman as well. There might be a conversation about Adames because he's locked up more long term, and I believe is getting paid more annually. So the Giants are under the second luxury tax, and as we kind of talked about last episode as well, with the ongoing collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners and the MLB, the Giants actually fit perfectly within the range that was given for the salary floor and the salary cap. The Giants fit in perfectly there. So it's not necessarily a money thing, but in terms of Adames' contract is interesting because last year he gave you 30 homers in the first year of his contract, and this is only the second year. And obviously, if you ask any Giants fan, any Giants executive, if they were being honest, they would kind of tell you that, yeah, he has not been playing to, the amount that we signed him for. There's value equals money, and his value has not equaled the money that we've been giving him. And, unfortunately, with how the Giants are locationally and are just as a franchise, you have to overpay for players like that. And especially if it's going to be a right-handed hitter's friendly ballpark, and for a premier shortstop who hit the market last year, yeah, you have to give the money to Willie Adames that he was due for. But if there was a way to where you could trade for, I don't know, if you could get a shortstop prospect out of any of the guys that we brought up earlier that we were willing to trade, any of the guys on the 1-year deal, or if there's a top level prospect and they're willing to trade for Logan Webb, could that be the shortstop of your future? Hopefully. But if you're also willing to get rid of the money that is owed to Willie Adames in lieu of that, there's no doubt in my mind, I think that would have to be done. And if I was the GM, I would do that in a heartbeat. The last thing I was hoping to harp on before we kind of wrapped up this podcast. So I do listen to other baseball podcasts, and about a week or two ago, one of the hosts mentioned that with how the Giants were performing, he was telling the Giants basically, just do something different. You guys are hitting shitty. You guys aren't playing well at all. You guys are a team bonding experience. Go out in Vegas, get fucking rowdy. Just do something different to just change up the vibes. And I'm with him but my question to you, Trev, you have one message to give to this Giants team. It's not necessarily a speech in the locker room or anything, but you just have to convey a message that you're hoping that can maybe change up the Giants' just mojo, how they're playing right now. What's the message that you're giving to the Giants to hopefully just change some things?
I mean, like, now or never, right? Like, it's shitty to say that before the All-Star break, but, like, it's true. It's like, you guys want to do anything about this year, it's now or never. Like, we gotta make a move, like, offensively, and our pitching staff needs to tighten it the hell up if we want to do anything come the All-Star break, come playoff time. I mean, we're not even in the picture at all. No one's worried about us, and so yeah, it's like now or never. Pick it up. Look like the team you're supposed to look like. That's what I would say. Figure it out, Yeah, it's I mean, I'm sure they've heard that before now. I mean, they've heard everything, It's like, what's going to stick? You can throw shit at the wall until something sticks, but if it ain't sticking, it ain't sticking. So yeah, I mean, they gotta grind through it. They're struggling, but baseball, I mean, you're really only expected to win 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4. It's like if you win 6 out of 10, you're a great ball club. So like right now they're 4 out of 10. It's not that far off. I I think they know that too. So they do. They feel it. You can tell. But offense looks good. Pitching looks like shit. I don't know. Got some stuff to figure out, but I think yeah, now or never is the way I would define it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good message to a team that's struggling right now. But I think my message is honestly um, the only solution to the problem that we've been having, and it's just it's simple. Take steroids. Take steroids if you are a hitter. Rafi Devers, Casey Schmidt. He has 13 homers this year. He could have 26 if he just hopped on the juice. All the pitchers, Roger Clemens, fucking Andy Pettit. There are so many pitchers that we've seen or heard of in the MLB that took steroids and was just way better than what they previously been. Take steroids. This is my okay. This is a message somehow. If it makes it to any Giants players, then I think I've made it officially as a podcaster. Take steroids. Find out whatever steroids are not detected by the MLB's guidelines and whatever tests that they give you guys a year or multiple times a year. I don't know. Take steroids. We are a shitty fucking ball club. Take steroids for 2 weeks. They won't test you. They won't. Then, once you guys start to build up steam, stop taking steroids. Play out the rest of the year as it is in increments. Take more steroids. Be better. That's the only way this ball club is going to succeed is by cheating. And by all fucking means, cheat your way to a championship. We saw it happen in Houston in 2017. Just do it. Fuck it. Why not? There's nothing better than juiced up fucking baseball. There's nothing better. Barry Bonds. We know that guy. I know that guy. Trevor, do you know that guy? He took steroids. He was great. Take steroids. Be great. That's my message to the San Francisco Giants. I do have some stats that I want to read.
I'd like to give another shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Biogenesis and Balco. They do provide the best steroids proven and tested. So I don't condone any of that last couple minutes, but Balco and Biogenesis do. So I'd like to thank them for their contribution to the cast. And back to you.
Well, going back to what I just said, I do condone everything that I just said. I love steroids and just do them. Why not? Hit some homers. Create some fucking excitement in the fucking clubhouse. Yeah, that's it, man. Do steroids. Be better. Better stats mean wins, and we need wins. Do steroids. Cheat your way to the top. Nobody cares anymore. Anyways, the three guys that I want to hit on coming out of the bullpen who have been extremely overused, and you might even remember some big home runs being hit off these relievers. But I will prove to you right now that it is completely, what was the vocabulary word of the episode? Happenstance. It was happenstance that these big home runs, like Ketel Marte's, shout out Scripps, sponsor that has been giving us zero income, but we'll figure out a paycheck somehow. Eric Miller gave up a huge home run against Ketel Marte. And that had nothing to do with what Eric Miller was pitching. It was the usage of him. These three guys have been used the most in the bullpen all year. They still have some of the best numbers in terms of hard hit rate percentage. Eric Miller, 28.2%. Matt Gage, 27.1%. Keaton Wynn, 26.8%. These guys are not getting hit hard. They have some of the best hard hit rate percentage in the league right now. Their exit velo percentage, Eric Miller, 84.9%. Matt Gage, 85.6%. Keaton Wynn, 85.8%. These guys aren't getting hit hard at all. And it has been extremely beneficial as they've been some of the, they've reached the highest points of this whole season. They've been guys that I am glued onto when they come into the game because, yeah, they give up some home runs. They give up some, they have some bad outings, but that's going to happen to every reliever. But once you're being used as much as you are in this Giants bullpen because our starters can't do what they're supposed to do, it's going to happen. But these guys have been amazing. They are the must-watch part of the Giants bullpen of this season so far. And I just wanted to shout them out before we departed this episode. This is the longest episode of the Say Hey show. And I think that we hit some great points. So to kind of end the episode right now with this next coming series against the Cubs in Chicago, Trevor, how do you think we end this road trip?
Go 2-3. I think tomorrow's Robbie Ray Day. He can give us 6, hopefully, and if he keeps the walks away, we should be all right. I think we can go 2-3 out in Chicago. No problem, actually. And then bring it back, test ourselves against the Nats at home. I'll actually be at one of those games. Very cool, very cool. Actually, it's probably the Cubs series after. Yeah, it's going to be the next series against the Cubs. So we'll see. No. So, yeah, I don't know. I get to see a game in person. I haven't been out to Oracle in a while now, so that'll be a fun one. Friday night, Cubs. So, yeah, I think we go 2-3, and then if we can win the next 3 series, I mean, that takes 2-3 every. It's like these 3-game series, you can either lose them or win them. If we can win all 3, I think, maybe hold off the sell. But, yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. We'll get better, and appreciate you. Back to Danny.
Well, if you guys recognize Trevor's voice and you guys are at the at the Cubs series this next weekend, take a picture with him. Ask for an autograph. It's going to be worth something one of these days. This next series, I was going to say 2 out of 3, but in terms of being different, I think we sweep the Cubs. I think we go into Wrigley coming off these 2 wins against the first place National League Central Division leaders. I think we go into Wrigley and we mop the fucking floor with these phonies. I think our pitching is going to be it's not going to be great. Trust me, it's not going to be great. I think it's going to be just good enough to hold off these phonies from winning a game. And I think our offense, with the wind blowing in the right direction and with how hot we are coming off this game win today, I think we're going to mop the floor with these guys. I think we're going to sweep them. And I think we're going to come into this series against the Nationals at home really good, riding high. I think we're going to be amazing. And great way to end the episode here. Longest episode in podcast Say Hey show history. And I wish all you guys the best. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. And
I want you to smash that subscribe button, smash that like and follow, share, smash that.
Share, smash that. All right, guys. We will catch you later after this Cubs series.